Hi everyone! So today I'm going to be creating my first ever custom monster high doll using this secondhand Draculaura I found on Vinted. As you can see, her glue seepage is so bad and she really needs a makeover. So I'm going to be giving her a reroot, a face up, and a new outfit. So I gave her the vanilla mace haircut. Now we put her in boiling water. So here she is soaking in hot water. This looks kind of crazy, but it's what we have to do. I do end up taking her head off of her body off camera, because it's easier that way. So I'm just going to be using some 100% acetone to take off all the factory paint off of her head and her face, so I can repaint it. Ta-da!
She's bald!
She's finally complete and bold. Very bold. She needs new hair. Let's do that next. Okay, so I decided to remove all the hair plugs off camera because it was really difficult. I just used this flathead screwdriver and scraped it against the back of her head. And then I used these pliers to rip out the plugs and glue that I had scraped off the screwdriver. In future, I would definitely use smaller pliers because these were such a pain. The head was too small in comparison to the pliers, so it was a bit of a struggle, but we got there in the end. I think this took me about over an hour, and it should not have taken that long. But the glue seepage was so bad, the glue did not want to come out of her head. So I went over her head with some black acrylic paint, so that if any of the hair has gaps in it in her head, when I reroot her, she doesn't look too crazy, it doesn't look too bold, because you'll be able to see the paint underneath instead of just a pink scalp. So I'm going to be using this doll hair I got off of Etsy. I got black and pink. I thought I ordered nylon, but the packet says saran, but that's fine because I paid for nylon, not saran. So I cut a sewing needle and put one plug of hair and then just squeezed into one of the holes in the side of her head, and there's your first hair plug. So I just got to do this around the rest of the head now, which took me probably about a week to do, maybe 4 days. But I did it the rest of it off camera, so you'll cut to when I've finished with the black hair. So I have finished putting all of the hair into her head except from the parting at the side, which I wanted to do middle parting, but the factory parting was already at the side and I didn't want to mess about with trying to get it into the middle, so I decided just to stick with the parting that she already has. And so now I'm going to put the root side part of her hair, and then I will add pink in later. So I did have to order a new reroot tool. I originally was just using an X-Acto knife handle and a needle that I cut the top off of, but it kept breaking. Then I ran out of the right size needles, so I got this reroot tool, and it works fine. The needles it came with were not great. They were really rubbish. They kept snapping in half, so I had to find some other needles, but got there in the end. So finally, after all that time, I finished rooting all of the black hair into her head, including her side part. It's looking really good. I'm quite proud so far because I've never rerooted a doll before, so I think this is pretty good for my first try. Now I just need to add some pink streaks to her hair. I was kind of struggling on what to do with her hair, but I decided to end up just doing a basic Draculaura hairstyle, black hair, pink streaks.
Some blue going on.
Yeah. I'm very proud of how this turned out. I really like it. It's really pretty. I like how the hair looks more pastel the more separate it is, because when I was holding all of the hair in one chunk it was quite a bright pink, but when I separated it got a bit lighter, so I like that. So I'm just going to use these hair clips to keep the side parting in place whilst I glue all the hair together. So I'm going to be using this fabric bonding glue I got off Amazon. I know that it's recommended to use Fabri-Tac, but it was quite expensive and I don't need a massive bottle of it since I probably won't do rerouting again for a bit. This is my first ever doll custom, so I'm not going to be making them all the time because I don't have time for that. but I just got this and it worked really well. I haven't had any problems with it so far, but I guess we'll see how it holds up in like a year. Now we just have to wait for it to dry for 24 hours just to be safe and make sure everything is glued in place. So this is how her final reroot is looking. It's really good, it's fully dried. I pulled on the hair and everything and it's not moving, so it's been fully brushed. Now I just need to wash it to make sure I get all the oils out of the hair from where I've been handling it, and to make sure it lays flat, because you can see that the hair's a bit like bumped up at the top. I want that to lie flat, so that's what I'm going to do next. So her hair's been fully washed and dried, and now I'm preparing for the face up. I just got this rag and put it around her head with a clip to keep her hair out of the way so it doesn't get messed up by the face up. I'm going to be using this watercolor pencil to map out where I'm going to put things on the face, and the pastels to do blush and eyeshadow and things like that. So my phone stopped recording when I was doing the face up, but this is the final face up. I used some acrylic paint and chalk pastels, watercolor pencil. Now I'm using the MSC to set all of the face up in place. I know I probably should have had lighter layers. This is way too much spray. But I did it outside so it's ventilated because it's very toxic. Wore a mask, all that jazz. So this is how the face is looking all set. So I realized something whilst it was drying outside. You shouldn't use MSC on acrylic paint because acrylic paint's water based, so that's not going to work out well. But then once it had been a few hours, I went to check the face and it looks fine. Like it looks a bit blurry, I guess that's how I describe it now. But overall it looks fine. It might not last that long in the future, but I don't really mind. So now I'm just planning on the outfit, and she has this random black spot on her face which I can't get off, so I'm just going to leave it. Yeah. So all I know at the time for the outfit is that I want to use these shoes. They are so cool. I love the mold of them. They're really fun. I also have these socks that I stole off of a Blythe doll. But they're really cute and they fit her legs, so I will use those as well. I also have this skirt that I made off of camera with my sewing machine. I really like how it turned out. It's really neat and the pleats look really cute and it matches the shoes well. So yeah, it was the second try I had, I think, of making the skirt. I'd never made door clothes before, so I decided to use it because it looks cool. Also thinking about using this shirt that came with the Dracula Escort to a Secret Store, but it doesn't really match, so I don't know. But we're gonna ignore the back of the skirt. It looks really rough. I had to add like an extra panel of fabric because it was too small. But it looks really messy. But nobody's gonna see it, so it'll be fine. This is the skirt on. Again, the back is such a mess. It's too big, so I'm gonna get some Velcro and Velcro it together. It looks a bit rough. This is what I came up with. I just stuck the Velcro onto the back. I mean, it does the job, so it's fine. Nobody's gonna see the back. I also wanted to add some Mod Podge to use as a gloss over her lips to give like a lip gloss effect on the face. So I'm just applying a thin layer with an old paintbrush I found onto the mouth, and it will dry down clear and shiny. So I'm not amazing at sewing by any means, but I'm just running this fabric. I folded it over and I'm sewing that together, and then I'm going to pleat it and sew it under the skirt that I already have. Add some shine and volume to the bottom of her skirt. Add some length because the skirt's quite short.
Wow.
And this is the final doll. I'm really happy with how she turned out, considering it's my first ever custom doll, my first ever reroute, all that stuff. Really proud of how I did with this one. I don't know if I'll do this that often in the future, but I know there's some dolls I want to restyle, maybe give reroutes, and there will probably be videos on those too, so keep a lookout for my next video. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye!